Hi, I'm Zekiah Blackburn, the owner of Sunreed Instruments and the director of the Center of Light Institute of Sound Healing and Shamanic Studies. In this video, we're going to talk about toning with crystal bowls. Using crystal bowls to tone create a great foundation or field effect of sound that helps you bring your voice into use with it. Toning is a term used that really covers a wide variety of use of vocal techniques. Most people, when they talk about toning, they tend to talk about the release of our own emotions or some form of alignment with our emotions. So we might express our heavy emotions like grief or sadness or something like that with toning to release those emotions, or we might align with more clear or positive emotions such as joy or peacefulness or something such as this. In my own practices, I work with a different level of toning in which we really connect with states of sacred consciousness and bring forward the voices from those subtle realms. And I'll talk a little bit about all of this, but I'm going to just begin with a few techniques of toning with the bowl. And hopefully you already have a bowl and you've practiced with it, or it may or may not be in alignment with this particular bowl. This bowl is a 14-inch C in the 4th octave, and it's tuned to 440 hertz. So if I were to just allow myself to kind of sink into the sound, these are terms that you may or may not be familiar with, but for me, using a crystal bowl, it creates this field effect of sound, and so the atmosphere becomes filled with it, and I just allow my awareness or my consciousness to sink into that field of sound, and I find myself being supported there. So I'm just going to go into a quiet meditation for a few moments. Just feel into that field of sound and rest in it. And instinctively, one of the sounds that I might begin with is just the Om sound. Now, the Om is a sacred word from the Sanskrit language, from India. And it fundamentally is a word somewhat equivalent to God. It basically means the all, or all that is, or that from which all comes. And indeed, the sound of Om is said to be the very fundamental essence of vibration that pervades the universe and precedes all manifest creation. So using the sound of Om is a beautiful way to begin any sounding technique. Many of you I know are familiar with using it in chants or mantras or in meditations. You can join with me if you wish to. Now, this video is primarily about toning, but I'm going to begin with some very simple chants, and I'll tell you why. If I use a sacred chant, a traditional chant, and I think about what it means, it can help me align with the principles of the meaning of that chant. And in many cultures, the language used in their chants is often described as a sacred language or an energy language or something like this. And what that means is that the language itself holds the meaning of what is being spoken within the vibration of the sound itself. So in this case, the sound of Om, that which all is, or that from which all permeates, is wrapped within that very matrix of sound. And if I just think about that, what does that mean? The nature of all life, the nature of all creation. I could use this sound if the meaning literally arises from within that sound. I could use the sound to help me to align within myself with what that means. The very nature of life, that which precedes all life, or that which permeates all life. Just think about that a few moments. And again, if you wish to join me or just rest in silence, but allow the meaning to help permeate the sound as you sing it. Oh. I could just rest in the stillness or beauty of that sound for as long as I wish to. But I'm going to add a few other sacred words, and in this case, I'm going to use the sacred chant Om Namah Shivaya, which is calling upon the light of consciousness, or Shiva is one of the deities of the Hindu spiritual practices, but Shiva fundamentally is the masculine aspect of creation, which is consciousness. So it's the nature of universal consciousness. And these sounds, Om Maha Shivaya, I'm calling upon that light of consciousness to pervade my light, to pervade my consciousness, to pervade my field or being. Om Maha Shivaya. So again, using any sacred chant to align with the principles within the chant, I allow my mind to meld into that pure light of consciousness which precedes all form, which precedes all manifest creation. And from that place, I just allow sounds from within my heart to arise. And this is where the toning begins, as I might suggest we use it. From aligning with the pure light of consciousness, feeling into that light of pure energy with my heart, and then just singing simple sounds. I've been using just one bowl, but I'm going to add another bowl, which in this case is a perfect fifth. So this is a C bowl, this is a G bowl, a half octave above it. And just adding the harmonics can really create a good effect of how we feel with the sound. And if we're working with others, it creates it strengthens the field of sound, I might say. It creates a very relaxing or beautifying sound. But it also gives me two notes to play with if I need that support of the actual musical notes to sing with. The C, the G, and the C. go back to playing just the C bowl again. And again, if I start with any of the sacred chants of different cultures, it can just help me align with the principles of what I'm calling upon. I'm going to use one of the most used chants of the world, which is Om Mani Padme Hum. This is a Buddhist chant which is calling upon the wisdom of the Buddha, but specifically Padmasambhava, the father of Tibetan Buddhism. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme So I've used a couple of techniques with sacred chant to lead into toning, but it's very easy just to begin with the bowl by itself. Again, this is a middle C bowl. It's one of, I could say it's right, it's a standard size to work with, and in terms of chakra bowls, it would represent the root chakra in the ways that most people work with the chakras. You could put your awareness in the root center if you wanted to and start singing the bowl. Just imagine that I'm singing a sound or a tone that will help strengthen or awaken or empower the root center to become more alive, more harmonized with its essential nature, which is that of grounding and relationship with the physical world and all aspects of that, my physical well-being, my security, warmth, nourishment, and so forth. And I could just sing from the root or send my awareness into the root using the sound to help amplify that awakening or harmonizing of the root center. Guided meditation to that and literally allow my root to awaken, moving down the tailbone, down into the earth as if it were literally the root of a seed awakening and coming into relationship with the earth. This is based in traditional wisdom and is used literally in meditations in some cultures to help me to fully ground, to embrace the earth, to feel my embodiment, and to come into deeper relationship with the earth, with the consciousness of the earth herself, and with all of the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, and space. So just Just imagine the root center sinking into the earth like the root of the plant. It stabilizes, it anchors, becomes like a lightning bolt that will allow me to discharge excess energy, will help ground and anchor me into the earth and in my body. And it also will allow me to receive nourishment, love, and replenishment back up from the earth, just like the root of a plant. And I can use the sounds of my voice to help strengthen that meditative practice. This is something you can do with me or on your own, and you can use your own voice, your own tones to send this root down to help strengthen or empower this process. If it's something you don't understand or fully believe, then just use your imagination and play with the principle for a little bit. What if the energy center of the root literally were awakening and sending the root into the earth to align, to awaken, to anchor, and to receive the nourishment back from the earth? Allow that to happen, but use your own voice, your own empowerment to make it so. And any tone will work. I'm just using random tones, but whatever tones sound right to you are all that matters. That's one of the beauties of using toning as a practice. So I can draw from any aspect of my voice I wish to. Using my awareness to awaken and anchor the root literally into the earth itself. Now this other bowl is a G bowl, which in the chakra system would be associated with the throat. And I'm going to use it to imagine I'm awakening my heart chakra in relationship to the root. And so I've awakened the root, I've sent it into the earth. Now I'm going to simply ask or draw forth that nourishment and awakening of energy, of life force of the earth to rise back up through the root, up the tailbone, into the sacrum, into the spine, and up into the heart center. Just imagine that my heart is being flooded with the beauty and nourishment of the earth itself. I allow it to lift up through my body. I feel my heart just filling with the beauty, the wonder, and nourishment of the earth. And use whatever tones arise to help enliven or empower that possibility or reality. This is how the energy system works within us when we think about the chakras. I just want to rest in that feeling of beauty or nourishment within the heart, feeling the connection to the earth, all being amplified by the simple sounds of the bowls in my voice. Just rest there for a few moments. The sounds of the bowls are such a pure, clear energy. They allow me to really focus my own attention and awareness. And if I couple it with my own voice and intentions, that can amplify the effectiveness of working with the bowls. If I work with a traditional meditative practice, such as I've just shared, then also it can amplify the effect through resting in the sounds of the bowls, coupled with my own intentions and my own voice, which resonates throughout all of my cells, all of my field of existence. These are but a few ways to work with toning. We will have other practices that we offer throughout this video series. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that it will benefit you. Thank you.